and I was told specifically by Crown Queenie, their community manager and stuff, that I was not allowed to do a toilet stream again, because I used to have this background for the stream where I would just switch in between the gameplay and says, "Be right back, I'm on the toilet." Sometimes I forget that on for 20 hours. That I was just running the toilet stream.
Listen up. If you're interested in Web3 gaming, grinding, earning, we have Kennii on the call here. He has been tearing up the Cambria playtest. Him and his guild have been absolutely crushing it at the top end. I believe, Kennii, you were rank 1 at one point. Very, very high level grinder. We're going to discuss how he heard about Cambria, how he got started, and the goal of this conversation for me is to really understand how someone goes from not even hearing about a game all the way to being top rank, running a guild. I really want to hear about that. Like, what is in between the step of like hearing about the game for the first time and then being one of the best players? So Kennii, how are you doing? What's good, sir? Before we get into it, how are you feeling today?
Thank you. I'm feeling great because it's almost done. It's been a long, grindy 2 weeks of this playtest, and we had a massive playtest even before this one started. So it's been a tough month, to put it.
Yeah, the previous playtests were 2 or 3 days, right? And this one was 2 weeks. It's a lot longer than the other ones, right?
Majority of all playtests I've done in Cambria has been 48 hours, like you said, and season 1 was only 5 days as well. We did that one with like minimal sleep as well. 2 weeks, it's more like a marathon, and you got to strategize a little bit different than just, okay, I'm going to stay up for this whole thing, because then you're just going to die. So you had to play way different than before.
100%. It's like if you're doing streams, it's like I can do a 6-hour stream maybe day after day after day, but if I do a 14-hour stream, I might need a couple days off, or else I could like mess up my voice or my back, or as I get older, things kind of fall apart. It's that marathon mindset.
There's a lot of things. I did some content creation season 1 as well, and I was told specifically by Crown Queenie, their community manager and stuff, that I was not allowed to do a toilet stream again, because I used to have this background for the stream where I would just switch in between the gameplay and says, "Be right back, I'm on the toilet." Sometimes I forget that on for 20 hours. That I was just running the toilet stream.
I mean, Twitch is interesting. Like, you just run music, go AFK, get people to tune in. There's all kinds of weird things people can do. But all right, let's start at the beginning. So when is the first time you heard of Cambria? And also give us a little taste of like, what is your history with this kind of game? I'm guessing you played RuneScape when you were younger. Like, what is your history with this kind of stuff? And then how did you first hear about Cambria?
So when I first heard about Cambria, I was actually through Farming Blast last year. Cambria was one of the popping off applications on Blast. So I checked it out like I checked out everything. And then at that point, there was no gold rush. I just dived into a lot of the documentation I could find. And then I saw that there was actually a game behind it, and it became very interesting. Although at the time, I was just playing it for the dual arena that they had, which was a 1v1 kind of setup, more gambling. So I had some huge swings in that one, but I was lucky enough to stick around and have some good gains and meet some good people, so that I stuck around long enough so I could experience the first playtest. And that's when I got to see what Cambria is actually going to be. And I had a lot of fun with the first playtest I ever did, and was just hooked since then. I also really like the team behind it. And yeah, the team is very solid. Like, I've spoken regularly with the founder. His name is Ben, and he's just such a great guy. One thing I've said about the team multiple times is that when you give them feedback, they actually work off of your feedback really quickly. And that is not a lot of teams that are doing this in the space. I've seen it 2 places now. It's with Cambria and it's with Abstract as well. They're also doing a lot of that stuff. So I think this is like a recipe for success in crypto as well. So I've just been hugely bullish since last year.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember when the first Blast version, I checked it out a little bit, but with only the coin flip gambling thing, there was a little bit more. You could choose a stance or whatever. But I was like, I don't get it really. I don't see it. And I didn't realize how much gameplay they'd added. Like, I think those first playtests after that, I was like, oh, the game where you coin flip for ETH, whatever. I didn't realize, but like I checked it out recently, and it really has expanded hugely. It's got so many features now. Okay, so
many features, such a big game right now, and I think it's looking like the biggest game in the space right now, based on all the traction it's getting and all the voices that are speaking about it. So a huge success, and very nice for the team to see that they are getting the success. Because I've been here where there was no one. We were just a bunch of 10 people sitting there dueling for ETH, right? And we always believed in it. So it's really cool to see that it's now popping up and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, and so like, how did you know when it was only flipping for ETH? Like, what gave you mentioned digging into the documentation, which is helpful. Like, is that how you knew that there was going to be something good here? How could you tell from that first version, which I saw, and I was admittedly like, I don't get it. Like, how did you see the potential that early?
Well, so I was able to find a lot of documentation about Gold Rush, right? Because at the time it was called Dual Arena. but I was able to find their Gold Rush documentation from the year before, which said a lot about risk to earn, enter dungeon. My first ever view on how Cambria would be is that you pay an entry fee to a dungeon and you go in and you clear the dungeon, and there will be leaderboards and there will be like staking with money, and then potentially like how you perform in these speedruns and stuff is your payout and stuff. So like that was my first ever, okay, this is what it's going to be. It's nothing like it right now. But so like I also love speedrunning. I've done a lot of games and competitions where it's about speedrunning. So that's also why I kind of stuck around for like, okay, I really want to do this because I know that I can be one of the best people doing this.
That makes sense. Speedrunning kind of relates to like these, if you're doing like a short couple of days, who can be the best grinder. It is like not exactly a match of the same skills, but there's got to be a lot of skill transfer between like I've only speedrun a few games. I actually got started speedrunning Mario Bros. 1, the original Mario Bros. When I first was doing Twitch streams. So fun. The warpless runs, no warp. 20 minutes, not 5 minutes. But yeah, I feel like that definitely can transfer. So what was those like? What was it like watching those first few playtests as they added more and more content? Like, was there a certain playtest where you really felt like, okay, now it's starting to get good? Or how were those first few playtests? After Dual Arena, like the next ones.
Yeah, so the first one was pretty easy because it was all brand new. It was like, okay, this is pretty cool, this is fun, and it wasn't long enough to get used up, right? And that was like playtest one. So I was always hungry for more. I know we were all waiting, okay, when is the next one? Because we were all hungry for more after the first one we did. And then when the second one came around, there's been some slow progress in some areas when it comes to the content. So a lot of the seasons became repetitive, even though new metrics, new data, like new stuff was introduced all the time. It ended up just being the same thing that was the best thing over and over. So when you're competing to be at the top, you just find yourself doing the same thing again, and you don't explore these other things that they're trying to filter you into, because it doesn't make sense to do so if you want to be the best. So that to me became a little bit repetitive for a couple of playtests, and it was very hard to fight getting burned out in the process. But those were also very short playtests, so it was able to push through because it was only for 2 days and 3 days and stuff.
Do you ever think like, okay, in general, not even only with Cambria, but in general, do you feel like, are you more inclined to push through, or do you feel like at a certain point you're like, okay, I'm so close to burning out, I just should like skip a playtest? Like, do you just try to push through no matter what, or how do you kind of gauge the burnout aspect?
It's very difficult in the space to kind of just fade something you know is really good, because you usually sit with more regret in the end after anyway. So I usually just piss my way through it and see how it goes. But I do just push until the burnout eventually catches up to me, and then I'm physically unable to perform and do it as I want to.
I get it.
Which has happened in playtests. There's been playtests where I got in, it was multiple days. After 3 hours, I was done. I could not physically do it.
Totally get it. When I was my first time, I was really going hard on stream, doing more than, like 250 hours a month, like just really, really grinding. I remember literally the day where I'd been doing like 6 months. It was like, I don't know, 4 to 6 months of just, it was during the pandemic. So I was just inside, no live streaming, right? And I remember the day that I went live, and all my streams had been like 10 plus hours for months. And I went live one time for like 3 hours, and I was just like, nope, can't do it, and just like ended stream and just like didn't stream for weeks. Like you just sometimes it needs to happen at least once to learn, okay, when should I have realized that I need, like, when could I have figured this out before I like actually burned out? And over time, I think with that experience, it's like, okay, I'm a couple days from burning out. Maybe I can stop now. Maybe not, depending on what else is going on. Like you kind of at least you at least know when it's going to happen. Whereas when you're younger and just starting, it's like, oh shoot, oh my god, I'm burned out. I didn't see this coming. Laying in bed, just wrecked. Yeah.
One thing that I really, really like is the guild feature, because in season 1 and in season 2 now, not been close to burning out because of the game not even close a single time. There's been moments where it's been a lot of work and a lot of people to manage, and things weren't going as it was supposed to. And you get to that where, okay, I'm mentally not doing so good right now, but you're pushing through anyway. And it's kind of sorts itself out. So like in season 1, season 2, as of sitting in gaming, not even close to burning out, because there are other things to put your effort into, which is managing and doing the stuff with the guild.
Let's talk about that. How did you get started with the guild? So you run your guild, right?
Yeah, me
So,
and multiple people. I have great people that are helping me build this
so
brand.
did you start this? Like you were there from the very beginning of this guild?
Very beginning, yes.
And just for help me, because we have our mutual friend Cilium set this up. So just remind me, what is the name of the guild? I'm sorry.
Plague Knights.
That's what I thought. Okay, Plague Knights. So it makes me think of Shovel Knight, that platformer game. Um, there's a character in there called the Plague Knight, I think, unrelated. But
Oh,
anyway,
I see. No, yeah, it was kind of. We were doing it for season 1, right? Plague. So I've been a very consistent grinder since Blast became a thing. I've been doing it very successfully in multiple places. So I was like, okay, I need to be able to build an audience around this, and I need to be able to share this knowledge and this ability I have to always perform in various farms and games and just applications in general, right? So I was starting to make like an alpha group and started working with a couple people to produce high-end guides and content to help people improve their experience in the space. So that's how it really started. And then for season 1 Cambria, then it's like, okay, we can make a guild now. That's when Plague Knights was born. And we made Plague Knights because also the tag PK is like, player comma in RuneScape and then PKing, right? So we thought it was cool. And we were like only 7 people, but we were able to stay, like me as a user, were able to stay rank 1 for a long time in that test. And our guild was like only 7 people, but we were up there on the leaderboard versus 100-player guilds as 7 people, and had some very good like you invest in the game, and then like so your resource cost per gain and return and stuff was one of the highest in the game between us.
wow. Yeah, so that was with only 7 people at the time. How many people are in the guild today?
Right now we have 128 people in the guild, and we had a lot more people who were trying to get into the guild, and we have some other people that are Plague Knights, but they still wanted to run their own kind of guilds in this playtest because of scholarship opportunities, right? Because as a leader, you can scholar people and stuff. So we didn't take away any opportunity for other people to do their own thing while still being Plague Knights with us and part of the community.
Okay, so how does it work going from 7 people to 120? Like what challenges did you experience along the way? Was it hard to keep it organized? Like how does things change when you go from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100?
Yeah, so first of all, big shout out to, I have a friend, Panda1 and Shaz. They are my co-leaders of this Cambria guild in this season. Huge help. The things they've done and everything is the reason we were able to do it. I could not have done this solo because I'll tell you a little bit. So we did a sign up round where people could sign up, provide their wallets, provide their IGNs that they wanted to play with. We made like a list of 150 people that were supposed to be invited to the guild. Then the game launches and we start inviting, and people are like, oh, where's my invite? Where's my invite? Everyone changed wallet or name somehow.
Oh
So it's like
no.
our whole sign up list, completely useless. I was expecting to spend a couple hours at launch just getting everyone into the guild and get us rolling. Took me 9 hours on
Wow.
launch to get everyone into the guild. And you still had people the next day come and say, I didn't get invited yet. Right?
Wow. Wait, so if you're spending 9 hours on launch, so that means you're basically, are you grinding at the same time, or are you basically like focused entirely on like these organizational tasks and other people are grinding while you're doing this?
Oh no. So the main goal for running the guild was get this machine going, right? Because 100 people are going to farm more than I can do alone if I
Definitely.
just get it rolling.
Yeah.
And that's why you can also see if we go to the solo Royal Favor leaderboard right now, which is what you've accumulated yourself, I'm ranked 1,800th player. I
Okay.
haven't done shit. But if you go to the overall leaderboard in the game, I'm top 40 because the guild is yielding me the amounts that it's yielding. So basically, it's just I don't have to do anything, and I'm still a top 50 player.
This
Uh,
is really interesting to me because this is where I'm at. Is like I've done heavy grinding for years. My stream grinds have been pretty crazy across multiple games, but I'm also 33, physical health. It's not always easy to grind that hard all the time. And so I definitely think about like what I'm doing is very similar where it's like, okay, can you run a team? Can you organize? Can you unlock, 50 other people who are going to grind and have an amazing time and you're facilitating that? I guess my question is, do you deal with any doubts like, oh man, my rank personally is lower? Like, does that ever, do you ever get like almost like sometimes if I decide, let's say I'm going to work on YouTube for a week and I'm like, okay, this week I'm focused on YouTube. lots of hours, can't grind parallel all day, like parallels I've been grinding lately. It's like, I'll still feel weird, like, man, there's a new deck and I haven't learned it yet, or like, oh, I'm not like farming my prime. But I know that like the work I'm doing on this other thing is more valuable, more important, and I can't really, if I'm trying to grind the game at the same time, I'm gonna sacrifice the quality. So I know I need to take a chill and then come back the next week, and then, but there's still something in my mind, and I'm guessing other gamers have this problem too when they're doing content, where it's like, I could be more competitive though, and someone else is always like completely locked in on competitive. And so like, do you deal with some of those thoughts, or is that just not a thing in your head? And if you do have those, like, how do you kind of manage that?
I try to teach. I have a lot of people who come to me and just ask me as a friend and ask for some advice and stuff like that. And the number one thing I always try to preach is that you shouldn't matter that much what other people think. Because
Mm,
in the end of the day, if you're winning, you're winning. And if my community is winning, I'm winning is even more, in my opinion.
yeah,
So yes, I do deal with the thoughts that in the first couple of days, it was a slow start. Features weren't working as they were supposed to. And we had a huge setback with multiple things. At the time, like day 3, I sat there and I was genuinely struggling a little bit mentally, because I know that this is what I'm putting the entire stake at. And if I had just not done that, I would have been top 10, top 20, whatever, because I can just
mm-hmm.
do it myself. But I chose not to. So yeah, I do deal with that as well. And it's always like, the shit talking. You can go and tell people, and then they will just say, oh, where are you at the rank? You're ranked 2000. You ain't even good. But motherfucker, I did more than you probably ever could when it comes to like organizing all this shit and making 100 people win instead of just myself. So that's
For
how I look
sure.
at it.
And plus, the 100 people who you're helping, they're gonna mess with you on a much higher level. Like they're gonna trust in you and believe in you. And anyone who's not in that group doesn't really have to get it because your power comes from like your crew, your community, basically.
Exactly. And we have a very strong community because we've been consistently producing wins over the past 4 months. We've been a thing. Uh, I'm not going to leak anything, but some of the messages I've just gotten in private as well is the reason you do these kind of things, because you get people who genuinely are being helped by the opportunity you're giving them and showing that appreciation back. And that's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. There are people, because the space is shit, right? You go in and you have no clue what you're doing in crypto. You're gonna get scammed. You're gonna get fucked. Right? So
Yep.
building Plague Knights for me has also been, okay, if you're new to crypto, new to gaming in crypto, if you get in these doors of Plague Knights, at least you're taken care of and you're in a good environment so that you don't get fucked up.
Yeah, the trust issue with all the scams and stuff, definitely. Just having a place where like, if I have a question, I can ask here, and I'm not going to get someone in the DMs trying to slip me a virus or, like, get me to send them my ETH.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Or even, dare I say it, founders that are not even looking for your best interest, right?
definitely.
We all
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, the space is Texas sometimes.
Well, it's tough, It's tough because, like, it's easy to go, like, okay, it's all nonsense, it's all scams, and then you can miss out on all the opportunities, right? So it's that challenge of, like, doing the good stuff, staying positive, but also being really good about not engaging with the scams, not leading other people into those scams. I feel like some creators in this space, some of them have good intentions, some of them might be just actual scammers, but there's people in the space who, like, they'll cover anything, and then, like, some of the stuff's good, but some of it's total scams, and they don't. I feel like some people, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like some people don't take responsibility for, like, okay, you posted some good stuff, but you also posted like 3 scams. So all of your followers from the other stuff, you're promoting these scam. Like, why don't you just like not promote the scams and only do the good stuff? I don't know. Like,
The thing to me about this whole thing is, yes, people seek me for alpha sometimes. They seek me for questions about things because I'm doing good, and it's like, oh, what will you buy now? What will you do? And they seek alpha all the time. And I say, I don't I don't give out alpha. I don't give out calls for coins. I just don't want to be doing that. And the answer they always give is like, oh, but we know the risk. We know. We just want to. And the thing to me is, even if you know that there's a risk to this, you're still giving me probably more credits or trust than you should. And in the end of the day, it does matter. You can always try and brush your shoulder by saying that, oh, I posted that. This is not financial advice. But motherfucker, people are going to take your advice, even if you
thank
say
you,
it's not financial advice.
thank you.
Right?
Someone's saying it.
So,
Yeah.
exactly. So owning up to that and then protecting your community is way more important, because by the end of it, when crypto's taking over. I've been in crypto since 2017, by the way, and I said back
Same,
then
yeah,
that this is
exact
going
same
to
here.
take over the world. Exactly. So when we eventually get there, and we're heading there with much more now than we ever did before, once crypto is everywhere, I think building a community that looks at you as, okay, he always took care of us during this shootout, this start. I think you can come out of this way stronger than people who seem relevant now and huge now, but will be remembered as people who fucked over their communities or whatever. Potentially,
Yeah,
is how
yeah.
I see it.
Oh, I mean, it's cool. Like, your story is like how it should be, right? You're in the game early. You're involved in it from before it's obvious, and you choose to put your time and your energy into it. And over time, you see that they're doing the right things. You like the team, so you get more involved. And it's just this natural process. Like, you are starting from a place of farming airdrops and looking for alpha in terms of like opportunities to earn, but you're also considering the quality of the project, the vibe of the community, and it's the ability to do both those things seems like it's what really lets you do such good stuff, right? It's having both the motivation to make the money and paying attention to that, but also filtering out scams and actually looking out for your community's well-being. It's a lot of work, but that is kind of what it needs. That's
It's a
what
lot of work.
that's leadership, though, in this space. That's what we need is leadership, and it needs to not be, do it for 3 months and then all of a sudden, screw it. This coin's going to the moon, 100x. Like, just
Exactly.
don't do it. Just stay cool. You know what I mean?
The thing about it as well is like try and lead by an example, right? So like there's a lot of callers. I don't do calling. I share the things that I do. So if this test went to shit, for example, and we did not cook or we did not have as great of opportunity as I thought, I was still in those trenches with my community for 100 hours a day, farming it myself because I play these games and I believe in them. So I don't just go into Plague Nights and post, oh, these are the 4 upcoming games. You need to get in on this. And then I sit there and don't do shit with it and try and collect on referral. I'm going in saying, yo, I'm going to be pumping this one. I need a team. And then people come with me and we do it. And we do it well most of the time.
So how do you manage that? How do you manage like the time it takes to check out new games? Do you just play everything you can get your hands on, or are you more selective? How do you think about that?
I've been very blessed by doing this successfully so that I can be more selective and choose good opportunities. When I started out last year, it was anything I could get my hands on, I need to participate in because I cannot afford to lose out on an opportunity. Whereas now, if I lose out on an opportunity, the next one's right around the corner. I could just wait it out and make sure that I don't FOMO in and make it move that is bad for my community and myself.
Makes sense. When you're first starting, no one knows you. You have to be everywhere figuring out what's good. But once you've built something up, you have people hitting you up, or you can message the team directly and actually get a response. Like, you kind of level up almost like in the game when your character gets stronger, you can go do different dungeons. It's like in real life, at first you're just
Exactly.
farming every game. Eventually you're like going for the big boss.
Very true what you said as well. Like in the beginning, it's like, hey, you got some alpha. Hey, what's this? And you kind of got to scrape your way through. And now it's like you get DMs and DMs and DMs of people wanting you to be involved in things, and you can just choose what you want to put your time into a little bit.
It's like how YouTube was for me. I was posting every day, like talking to the camera, covering things. And then now with Paragon's DAO, it's like, okay, we're doing a few videos a week. They're super high quality. We're like really picking our topics. But like I needed to post hundreds of videos, some of which were pretty crappy, but that taught me all the things that now let us be like, okay, I know that these 2 or 3 videos are worth doing. Whereas before I would
Exactly.
have had no idea. I do want to talk about something else while I have you here, which is you mentioned Abstract back at the start of this conversation. So I have not gotten to use Abstract much. I've looked at it a little bit. I don't like. I have a Abstract wallet technically, but I haven't like streamed on there or anything. So, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on Abstract? Do you think it has potential, generational wealth? I'm joking, but like airdrop opportunities, and do you think people are actually going to want to use it long term? Like, what are your overall thoughts on airdrop, whatever, or airdrop on Abstract?
I am going to say my opinion about abstract stuff, but it is not from a technical view. I have not put myself into the technical aspects of the chain or anything like that. This is coming from a user experience point of view. I think it's great. First time when abstract came out, obviously we were looking for a new opportunity for the community and something to get into, right? And as we signed up and we became part of Abstract, I liked it from the get-go. I've always said for a couple of years now, the winners of this space and this industry is whoever can figure out how this technology is implemented without people even knowing that they're using it. Because people are not going to know seed phrases and wallets and all this bullshit that took us years to learn and numerous scams to get through just to have the experience we have today. It's going to be something like Abstract, where you just sign up with a social login, my Google, for example, and I have my wallet, and there is no knowing what contract is or all these kind of things. I just use the portal like I'm doing right now. So there was a lot of FUD around Abstract in the beginning. I did not know what the fuck they were talking about. I had no clue. I just kind of like, it came in and just straight up my head. I did not care about any of it. I liked using it. I enjoyed using the applications, and it was easy to use it across multiple applications. So I've been a huge Abstract bull ever since it came out. And I think before the API was shut down, I was the 88th biggest XP earner on the platforms, like top 100 users of the chain.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's the whole thing on Abstract, right? Like, farming experience is like the main like score, basically.
It's the main score, and it's very difficult to figure out how they do it. Still have no clue how the fuck they do it. The thing that I like about Abstract, they set out this goal to like not have farmers, have actual users. I'm a farmer. I always was a farmer for the whole year last year, right?
Right.
I have transitioned into a user. I don't go on every Abstract application to try and min-max the XP. I don't. I use the things I like and genuinely enjoy doing, and it's actually rewarding me. So you have to think to some extent they are doing exactly what they were saying that they would do. And that's crazy to me that they actually got me in this hold where I'm like thinking to myself, oh shit, they actually flipped me. I'm actually just a consumer now. I'm not this edgy farmer. Got to figure out what the edge is on the platform.
That's good to hear, because my one reason I hadn't done it yet is I was worried it would be kind of just like, all right, use everything, maximize experience, no matter if you like it or not. And I was just feeling like it might not be the right time for me for that. But from what you're saying, it sounds like that's really what it needs to be. Is yeah, you want to have people be users. I mean, farmers are okay to get things started, but like you need to transition into the users for sustainability and for long term. So that sounds like a really good sign, actually, that you had that experience.
Personal experience, yeah, and from a user perspective, there could be hundreds of different people with different experiences, but I truly enjoy it, and they're building something that I've seen be the future of the space. I could probably go to my grandpa and have him sign up to Abstract, and he would more easily navigate that than anything else in crypto, and that to me is something that is going to be a winner for the long
Okay.
term.
I have one question I'm curious your thoughts on with Abstract. Do you think having streamers on a separate platform, is there any risk of like, basically, if streamers are on Abstract and other like kind of more obscure platforms, that like, are we missing visibility on Twitch and on YouTube and stuff? Like, is there any risk to us kind of going into our own little bubble and then no one else hears about us? Or am I just worrying about something that is completely not worth worrying about?
You mean if you allowed people to stream on Twitch, it would generate more exposure for global adoption anyway than if you just lock it down to this little niche, right? Or this bubble, like you said. Um, Very cool question. Never thought about it.
Well, I'll tell
Could
you what
be the
most people
case.
would say. Most people would say, oh, just multi-stream, right? No problem. And my thing is, the chat matters, right? So if you're streaming on multiple platforms, but all the chatter is on Abstract, your Twitch stream looks dead, right? So even with just to add another layer, because I think multi-stream is like the obvious, oh, who cares? Just multi-stream. But even then, it's
Exactly.
like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of, it's a bit philosophical. Maybe it's too fancy to worry about, but I can't help but sometimes think about these things.
A lot of crypto is within its own bubble, and I think a lot of people don't see beyond the echo chamber. A lot of times, I think it's important to raise these kind of questions to actually think about it, right? Because it's just, but in the end, it's like I don't have any specific opinion about streaming platforms in general. Twitch is the biggest. It's always been. There's platforms that have tried to rival that for a long time. Who's to say that this one is going to rival it any better than the other ones, right?
Right.
So no specific opinion about it. We have to see some innovation in the streaming space. I know a lot of creators are getting fucked over on a lot of platforms. Um, so maybe if you innovate people's ability to take control over their own content and earnings more, then you have a winner for that too. And maybe blockchain enables that a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, and in the end, I think for each individual, you just got to do what makes sense for you, right? So if like streaming on Abstract is the right thing for you to do, you do that. If Twitch is right, you do that. If multi-streaming is right,
100%.
there's just everything else is like fun to talk about, but for an individual, just kind of yeah, whatever works for you, right? You don't have to like. There's no real ethical imperative to like I got to stream on Kick or Twitch or it's like
I got it.
it's just too much
Yeah.
to worry about at that point. It's okay, like, oh, I'm about to step on a bug. Oh, I got to step away. Like, oh, what, I'm buying a bagel. Like, who made the bagel? How much did they get paid? Are they paid? It's like, you just can't worry about every single thing you do. You have to kind of pick your battles, right?
Gotta pick your battles. And in the end, yeah, like you said, people will do in the end of the day what is best for them. And I think people should. So
Yeah. Well, man, it's been a half an hour already somehow. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Um, Trying to think of what's a good way to kind of start wrapping this up. I guess what are you looking forward to, like for the future of Cambria specifically, coming back to Cambria and Plague Knights, the guild? What are you looking forward to over the next 3 or 4 months? Like what's coming up for you guys?
we got a couple of things planned already for next week on. We have great projects and games that we work with very closely. We've been given some opportunities. I can't leak much of it. There are other things coming to Abstract as well.
Okay.
Well, we are a little bit knitted in another game. Not going to leak that one either, but we're just going to keep doing our thing. We're going to keep grinding, keep pumping, keep gaming, and having a good time in the space and keep educating people on how to actually be doing this right. And for Cambria, just gotta wait for season 3. I hope to see that they keep pumping. I love seasonal based. They've said it's been a long time until they're gonna do a forever world. That is okay for me if I can do a season every couple of months. I'm actually preparing a whole write up as well with my personal feedback to the team. Hope they take a good look at that and value that opinion, just to try and help it from my experience of running a guild as well and what I would like to see a little bit better, so it becomes more fun to run a guild.
That's amazing. This has been a really inspiring conversation. I feel like I've learned a lot from talking to you and hearing about how you do things. I'm definitely going to be thinking about this for a while. We could easily keep talking for a while, but since Cilliam will get mad at me if I take up too much more of your time. Let's just
Season is still going as well. Season is still on.
Yeah, exactly. So just for this last thing, where can people find you? Where should they follow? Where should they join?
We're called Plague Knights everywhere, so you can go on Twitter as well. It's Plague Knights, Plague_Knights. And then, yeah, you can just find all our Discord and everything on the Twitter as well. I'll send to you.
Awesome. Anyone watching the video on YouTube right now, link in the description. We'll put it in there. And Kennii, thank you so much, man. This has been a really awesome talk.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It was nice to meet you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Oh, baby.